Okay, you're all good.
All right, thank you. I'd like to call to order the February 16, 2021 meeting of the West Palm Beach Planning Board. Madam Clerk, if you would please call the roll.
Evelyn Mans,
Here?
Todd McLeod,
Here.
Peter Pivko,
Here.
Deborah Rain,
Here.
Andres Perdello,
Here.
Mark Pateman,
Here.
Scott Holtz. Let the record reflect that Scott Holtz is not present. John Hicksonbaugh.
Here.
All right, thank you. Ms. White, would you please also read out loud the COVID-19 protocols we are following this evening?
Pursuant to Mayor Keith A. James's Executive Order 2020-05 issued on April 2nd, 2020, the City of West Palm Beach's boards and committees are conducting meetings through media technology and have released the requirements to have a quorum of its members physically present at City Hall. On April 14, 2020, Mayor Keith A. James issued Executive Order number 2020-09, which specifically provides the rules of procedure for conducting city meetings, including requirements for quasi-judicial hearings. To ensure the ability for the public to continue to participate in this hearing, it is being streamed live and available for viewing in the City Commission chambers located at City Center, 401 Clematis Street, on the condition that social distancing be practiced. Additionally, for those wishing to access the meeting remotely, they are able to do so directly through the applicable Zoom webinar link, as well as the city's usual media channels, including WPB-TV 18, the city's website, and the city's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter feeds. Anyone from the public who would like to provide comment on an agenda item is able to do so through the following: in the City Center Flagler Gallery, dialing 561-320-6451 and leaving a voicemail not to exceed 3 minutes, sending an email or a video recording to pbpubliccomment@wpb.org, or completing the online public comment form at www.wpb.org/public comments. Those accessing the meeting directly through Zoom may also use the Q&A or raise hand features. Regardless of method, please be sure to indicate the agenda number or case number for which you are providing comment. Everyone providing testimony must have video capability and will need to be sworn in. The swearing in will occur at the start of each case on the agenda. If you're about to provide testimony and were not sworn in, please be sure to indicate such and be sworn before offering your testimony. After the applicant presents their case, staff will provide a presentation, and then the public will have an opportunity to speak or have their comments read into the record from previously received correspondence. The board will then go into executive session. Prior to rendering a decision, the board will confirm no additional public comments have been received by staff. And finally, for the members of the board, it is emphasized that Florida sunshine laws are applicable and you may not use the chat feature or any other form of individual communication to discuss matters with other board members, the applicant, or the general public during the meeting.
Thank you, Ms. White. Next order of business is approval of the January 12th, 2021 minutes. Has everyone had the opportunity to review them? Any corrections or comments? And if not, I'll look for a motion for approval.
I move approval, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion. Have we a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Next on our agenda is the report of the planning staff.
Good evening, Chair and board members. Let me share my screen. Everybody see?
Yes.
Okay. Give you a report of the projects that have been approved since the last planning board meeting. These projects were approved according to City Commission City Commission meeting on February 8th, 2021, and the first project was approved by 6-0 vote, and the second project, I believe somebody had to excuse themselves from a 5-0 vote on the December 15th, 2020 meeting. The first one was the Prime Commercial Plan Development, a Wawa. This facility is located on the northwest corner, Military Trail and 45th Street. The applicant came in, for rezoning to a commercial plan development, and the main thing was first phase was to allow for the construction of a 5,636 square foot Wawa, as you can see on the site plan here. The next one's only two cases was Center Park Drive East, where this was approval of an 8-story building consisting of primarily of multifamily with limited amount of non-residential on the ground floor. This was we remember, an application that gave two options to build. Option A and option B both included up to the dwelling unit count was all marked residential, and one had office and retail, and one had retail only. And that concludes my presentation of the cases that were approved since your last planning board meeting. Chair, any questions?
Any questions of staff? And if not, then next on the agenda are remarks by the chairperson, and I am the bearer of unhappy news. Tom McLeod will be leaving our board after this meeting. He and his family are purchasing a house in Lake Park Shores. Once he is no longer a resident of the city, he is no longer eligible to be serving on the planning board. I asked Rick about the possibility of annexing Lake Park Shores into West Palm Beach. Let's just say Rick politely ignored me. Anyway, on behalf of the board, I wanted to thank Todd for his many years of service to the city. We appreciate his contributions, and he will be missed. Todd's departure, anyway, I know we all wish him well and great happiness in his new home. And who knows, a new home that may one day be part of West Palm Beach. Still holding out hope on that. Thank you, Todd.
Yes, thanks.
Congratulations.
I'm gonna miss working with everyone.
Todd's departure will necessitate a couple of housekeeping matters. First, John Hicksonbaugh will now become a full member of the planning board upon Todd's departure. And second, at our next meeting, we will need to elect a new vice chair. So please give some thought about that. That then brings us to the declaration of ex parte communications. Does anyone have anything to report? Next on our agenda are continued cases, of which there are none. That brings us then to planning board case number 16700. Would everyone who plans to speak or offer testimony this evening on this case, please raise your right hand. I'll wait.
Okay, bear with me, Mr. Chair. I have about 9 people to bring in. So
All right. Well,
And Mr. Chair, if I can interject this, they will need to be unmuted.
okay. Although the meetings go quicker if the mute stays on, just pointing that out.
Okay, that should be everybody.
All right. Would everyone who just joined us please unmute, at least in the beginning? And anyone who plans to offer testimony this evening, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be truthful?
Can do.
I do.
Thank you. So if we can, we'd like to hear from the applicant. First, please proceed.
Hi, good evening, everyone. For the record, my name is Christina Belenke of Dunning, Misville, and Backman. And I am going to try and share my screen right now so you can see our presentation for this CPD amendment. And I believe I'm in screen sharing mode. Are you able to see my?
I
Perfect.
can see.
Wonderful. So along with me this evening, just for the record, we have the project applicant, the developers of this car wash, as well as our engineers, our landscape architect, our architect in general, and our traffic engineer as well. So should you have any questions, our whole team will be ready and available to answer questions down the road. The subject property we're talking about this evening is the Palms Gateway Commercial Plan Development. And specifically, we're looking at track number 2 of the CPD, which is highlighted in the red dashed line. It's approximately 1.08 acres located at 1510 Belvedere Road. The property has a future land use designation of commercial special impact zone and a zoning designation of CPD. The CPD as a whole is approximately 8.84 acres and is a former brownfield site. It was rezoned to CPD in 2015 to enable a master planned commercial redevelopment project. And so you can see the other uses that have been approved within the CPD. You have Wawa directly to the west. You have the extra space storage facility to the south. And a little further south, you have Mitsubishi Motors. So those are already existing and I believe constructed at this point within the CPD. And so this 1.08 acre tract is the last remaining parcel for development. Again, the CPD as a whole is located at the southeast corner of Australian Avenue and Belvedere Road. You also have the Autobuy car dealership located immediately east of the CPD, the Drive Shack located to the west, and you have existing gas and fast food uses to the north along Belvedere Road. So in 2018, track number 2 was actually approved for a Del Taco fast food restaurant that was approximately 2,418 square feet. It did also have a drive-through facility. However, the restaurant chain decided not to move forward with this location, so the site remains vacant. The applicant this evening is requesting to amend the Palms Gateway CPD to allow a 3,708 square foot automated car wash. Specifically, the applicant is seeking to add automobile washing establishments attended in self-service, as this is not currently permitted by right within the GC zoning district and is not listed as an additional use permitted by right within the CPD. The proposed use actually results in a reduction of trips from the approved and vested fast food restaurant within the CPD. And so now a little bit about Flamingo and who they are. This is really a unique car wash facility. It's a lot different from what you would typically envision as, older car wash facilities that have been around for quite some time. Flamingo Car Wash is actually locally owned and operated. They have their headquarters in West Palm Beach, and its principals are multi-generational residents of West Palm Beach. So the profits from the business will remain within the community, which is wonderful. Again, it's a unique car wash that is distinguishable from most others. First of all, they have a model where they focus on affordability with prices starting as low as $5 per car wash. They also focused on the automation and speed of the car wash. They use cashless pay stations before you enter the car wash facility, and it takes approximately 3 to 5 minutes total from your purchase of the car wash to when you exit. The tunnel itself can actually process up to 100 cars per hour, which is about 36 seconds per car. And then they also offer self-service vacuums for free, or incorporated into the price of the car wash, I should say. They also have monthly subscriptions for those that want to continually keep their car looking in great shape. And they have unlimited washes and dedicated pay lanes for those that our monthly subscribers. So how does the Express Car Wash work? Customers can pull up to the unattended terminal and purchase their wash selection. And so there you see kind of the pink booths within the canopy. Those are the pay stations. Customers are then guided onto the conveyor by an attendant. They will ride through the tunnel and their car will exit clean. And then customers may take advantage of the free self-service vacuums or exit back onto the road. One thing, again, that is pretty unique about the Flamingo Car Wash is how environmentally friendly it is. Most vehicle owners try and save money by washing their cars at home. Some also enjoy it, although I don't understand why. I would much rather take mine to a facility to have it done for me. But comparatively, the Flamingo Car Wash technology is not only affordable, but considerably more environmentally friendly. So this graphic just shows you some of the impacts of washing your car at home versus bringing your car to this facility. Washing at home, vehicle owners use approximately 140 gallons of water in comparison to the 30 gallons of water used at Flamingo. At home, the dirty water, which can contain asphalt, engine and brake residue, antifreeze, grease, oil, rust, asbestos, and other undesirable cleaning chemicals, they go right into the storm drain, making its way into streams and other water bodies. So Flamingo, in contrast, has a reclamation system which reduces water consumption by up to 75%. In addition, Flamingo captures up to 95% of the water, the wash water, for potential reuse, reducing the need for fresh water. Any sediment will flow into the sanitary sewer system, which goes to a treatment facility rather than down the storm drain. Flamingo Car Wash also uses chemicals that are non-acidic, phosphate-free, and biodegradable. So again, just in comparison, is so much more environmentally friendly than simply doing it at your home. So this is our proposed site plan, and the arrows are kind of guiding you again through the circulation on the site. So you'd enter the site from the north, and there's primary access from both Belvedere and Australian Avenue. So you can either come, from the east, from Belvedere Road, or from the west through the Wawa, and then you would go down a one-way drive aisle into one of 3 lanes where you have pay stations. This is also unique because it actually allows for up to 16 cars to be stacked at any given time. Once you make your payment, the 3 lanes merge into one. And again, an employee will direct each vehicle onto the conveyor belt and through the facility. Once they exit the tunnel, they would make their way south, and they'd be able to utilize the 13 vacuum stations that are available to customers. And so this just shows you the proposed internal site circulation. So again, there is access from both Belvedere Road and Australian Avenue. There are also existing 2-way drive aisles to the north. You see the one that's labeled in blue with the arrows, and also south of the self-storage facility, there is another 2-way access drive there. Again, we are proposing a 1-way access drive on the west side of the building, and this really will help slow traffic and guide them into the facility safely and minimize any conflicts for vehicles exiting the tunnel. There's also existing pedestrian circulation from Australian Avenue between all of the uses. So you can see the existing walkways highlighted in kind of more of the yellow color, and the proposed walkway highlighted in orange for any employees that might want to go over to the Wawa, or if somebody is working on vacuuming a vehicle and, a passenger wants to go run over to the Wawa, there will be safe pedestrian circulation for everybody. And this is the proposed floor plan. It's fairly simple. Most of the building itself is dedicated to the wash tunnel and an equipment room. There's also a small office, a restroom, and a storage room as well. So most of the building will be used for the actual vehicle washing facilities. The elevations were designed to provide a real Florida feel with an overall Art Deco style. The front north-facing facade includes expansive windows, which provides a view into the washing tunnel. And your rear south-facing elevations lie adjacent to the pay stations and stacking lanes and the self-storage facility to the south. This is a copy of our landscape plan. We're proposing new landscaping throughout the site. There are existing gumbo limbos, royal palms, mahogany, and bald cypress on site already. And we are proposing to supplement the existing landscaping with crepe myrtles, live oak, royal palms, cabbage palms, Christmas palms, and a variety of shrubs. So here are some renderings of the proposed car wash. Again, it's kind of this vibrant, fun Art Deco style motif. And you see the pink flamingo there as well. So these are views from the north. So you can see the windows that, again, go into the tunnel. And then this is on the south side. You can see on the right side of your screen, the vacuum stations and the canopy where the stacking lanes will be as well. Here's kind of an overhead aerial from the south as well. So staff has recommended approval of this application. They have noted in their staff report that the project is in compliance with the minimum development regulations of the ZLDRs. They also concluded that the proposed car wash facility is compatible with the uses within the CPD, as well as the uses within the surrounding area. The Planning Division has also found that the request complies with the rezoning standards of Section 94-32 and the Site Design Qualitative Development Standards of 94-35C of the ZLDRs. And a detailed justification has been provided addressing each of those criteria within your backup materials, and staff has noted that as well in their report. And again, staff is recommending approval. So with that, again, our whole team is present and we are more than happy to answer any questions that you may have this evening.
All right, thank you so much. Are there any questions of the applicant? And let me, I am sorry, I am not able to pull up. Can you just give me a moment? You're gonna have to answer audibly. I'm having trouble seeing everyone's picture. Are there any questions of the applicant? I'm scanning the pictures. If there are none, then I'd like to hear then from staff. Ms. Louis.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
If you can go to slideshow and blow it up, it might read a little better.
Okay, can you see it now?
Yep, that's good. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Good evening, everyone. Linda Louise, Senior Planner for the record. I really don't have anything else to add to the applicant's presentation. The application is straightforward. The project does not seek any waivers from the development regulations of our zoning code. And staff's recommendation is approval. Staff believes that the project complies with the amendment standards as well as the site design qualitative development standards of our zoning code. And therefore, staff is recommending approval of Planning Board Case Number 1670 with conditions as noted in the staff report. This is the condition of approval, which states that all traffic conditions, all outstanding traffic conditions as listed in the county's TPS letter is addressed in accordance with the timeframe specified in their TPS letter as requested by the county. And that concludes staff's presentation.
All right, any questions of staff? If you could please stop the screen sharing so I can see everyone,
sure.
that'd be great. Thank you so much. Any questions of staff? All right, John, have we any comments from the public? Any questions?
Mr. Chair, no one has expressed interest in public comment.
All right, then we'll bring it back to the board for discussion. Does anyone have any concerns or objections to this application? Go ahead, John.
I do want to speak on this. I live in the Hillcrest, Veldado neighborhood, so I feel like I'm close and I do feel an obligation to speak. I have been struggling with this project, and the reason why I've been struggling with this project is because of the actions that the board has taken on over the past couple of months on the projects in the Centerplex project, the idea that we're trying to create a more urban, walkable, mixed-use development on the other side of the street. And so I've been struggling with how to marry that, those actions on that side of the street and approving an amendment that, in my mind, proposes a use that's not as compatible as the other uses in the GC zoning district or the other uses that have been approved in the area. I compliment the staff on all of the hard work, and obviously this is a fine family business, and there are a lot of environmental impacts that they've considered. I'm really sitting on the fence about whether I would support this. And I feel like I certainly understand that I'm the lone wolf on this. I don't agree that it complies with the criteria for granting the request. I don't think that there has been a change that necessitates this other than somebody has come forward with a proposal to change a list of uses. I don't think there's been any change in economic conditions or a change in the plan development that would necessitate that. That's one of the criteria. I think that the building is not necessarily congruent with the sort of natural and earth tones and contemporary architecture of the rest of the development. And it's really right up on that service road. And with that vibrant design, I just feel it's going to detract from the remainder of the development. It's going to certainly be the most prominently visible aspect of the development when it's completed, because there's really just a 5-foot landscape buffer off of the service road. So I don't have any objections to the architecture or the site plan. I'm just not sure if this is the right use at this location, and whether or not we should, as a city, wait for something that is more congruent with the existing development and also something that supports our efforts across the street with the multifamily. Certainly a restaurant would have been a better use to promote the kind of walkable character that we're trying to promote in that area. I mean, I imagine that people would certainly walk to drive shafts so that they don't have to drive home. And so I don't think that we could say that people wouldn't walk across the street. And so I just want to put that out there. I haven't made a final decision on my vote, but I just wanted for the record to put those reasons out there to say if I do choose to not support this application, those would be the reasons why. Those are just some of the concerns that I have. And again, I understand that I'm probably the lone wolf on this, and I get that. That's, I was hoping we would have a full quorum, so I wouldn't even have to vote.
Those days are over, my friend. Now that Todd's leaving is going to put you on the hot seat from now on going forward. John, no, thank you for your comments. They were helpful. Could I hear from staff in response to some of the concerns John raised?
Yes, I actually think that the use is compatible with the existing auto-oriented uses within the development. We do have a gas station convenience store, as well as the Mitsubishi dealership within the development, which I think that the car wash is complementary to those uses. We also have a gas station across the street. And there is connectivity, pedestrian as well as auto, within and throughout the development. So in that sense, I do disagree. I do think that they meet the amendment standards. The amendment is triggered by the change in site plan. It is governed by a master plan. So in that sense, yes, it does satisfy the amendment standards.
All right, does anyone else wish to comment further? And if not, go ahead, Mark, please.
Just to say, John, you're not alone in the sense that I'm an urbanist and I understand the benefits of all the density that's happening at Center Park, but I'm also a pragmatist and a realist, and I understand the development math. And there's a strong demand for car washes. This is an excellently executed one. This is probably where it should be, all things considered. However much we dislike it or find it distasteful, South Florida is still in large part an auto-centric community where we have to deal with the fact that people love driving around in their cars and not getting out of them. So
and clean cars.
Yeah. So one of our board members is in his car right now during this meeting. I can see him shifting. So it's kind of one of those. It is what it is. I get the urbanist argument. I found a lot of problems when we try to get a little overly sanctimonious with it and try to apply kind of, I guess the French word would be half-assed, pedestrian measures to a clearly auto-centric design on that south side of Belvedere. I mean, it is what it is. And I've seen this happen in like Legacy Place in Gardens where it's designed by a committee and you've got something that neither works for cars or pedestrians because it's so bastardized. We're putting our bets in Center Park and that's going to have a real sense of density, a real sense of walkability, a real connection to Grandview Market and those neighborhoods to the north and east. We kind of have to give up in a sense on Belvedere. This is as best as you're possibly going to get for that location. And I prefer to see this at least interesting architecture and kind of whimsical nature coming out of the airport than another Del Taco. So those are my 10 cents. Thanks, guys.
Does anyone else have any comments they wish to make?
May I just?
Todd, go ahead, please. We'll come back to you, John. Let me give Todd a shot here. Go ahead, Todd.
I was
We have to
just
be
going
polite to him. He's getting ready to leave, so I got it.
That's true. My final words. I was just going to kind of second what Mr. Pateman had to say. I see it as fundamentally different than Center Park. It is in the same kind of intersection vicinity, but it's right at the corner of two kind of major county thoroughfare roads there. And the use that this project would be replacing was a restaurant, but it was a drive-through fast food restaurant. It's not necessarily an open air type of concept or something like that. So this CPD is pretty car dependent already. I think a car wash is kind of fitting with the gas station and the self-storage use that's already approved and constructed there. So that's just my 2 cents.
Thank you, Todd. John, did you want to add something?
No, well, I just wanted to say that I appreciate the comments of Mr. Pateman and Mr. McLeod, because I think that those are more responsive to the concerns that I've expressed than a simple dismissal of my concerns. And so if I do support it, it will be because of the comments that other board members have made.
Thank you. Are there any additional comments? And if not, I'd be looking for a motion.
Move to approve planning board case, what number is this? 1670-0 with a single condition from staff.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. All right. This will bring us into the code revision case. (2101).
Mr. Chair, Eric Schneider is the only one, and he's in the meeting.
Okay. Mr. Schneider, I don't know if you've been sworn in.
Swearing again.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you were, you don't need to go do it again if you were sworn in earlier. Is there anyone else speaking on this matter that has needs to be sworn in? And if not, you have the floor.
Okay, let me share my screen real quick. Oh, let me share screen. Okay, this is really a housekeeping matter as the city is moving forward with amendments to the code revision cases. And am I showing you with a one screen or multiple here?
I'm seeing one screen.
Okay, so as stated, it's code revision case 2102, and it's amendment to section 94-407.13, and it deals with special event signage. Putting the text up on the screen now, and strike through and underline. And really what's happening is, in part of the code revision work that we're doing in chapter 78, or where all the special event regulations are housed, there were a couple things in the sign code that talked about signage that are now obsolete. All of the signage is going to be handled in chapter 78 as part of a special event permit. The signage will be laid out and approved as part of the special event permit. So that's what this is. We're cleaning up. And staff is recommending approval as it meets the requirements of 9432 of the land and zoning and land development regulations. Are there any questions of staff?
Yeah, Eric, let me just ask the initial question. I'm trying to understand, as a practical matter, what's changing other than the housekeeping issue in terms of for special event, will anything be changed under this proposal?
Well, it just directs the signage that people, if they looked in the zoning and land development regulations for the signage and the process, directs them to chapter 78 where they are supposed to be looking for.
But the rules themselves aren't changing.
We're going to add some rules. There's really no rules right now. So
Okay.
we're formalizing rules when we pass the special event regulations. We've been doing it informally and looking at signage as part of the special event permit. We're going to be codifying all that with, as well as a bunch of other things in the revised special event regulations.
But that's not before us today.
Yeah, but I do also want to point out that you will, because that is in chapter 78 and the planning board is only responsible for chapter 94, you will not see anything more having to do with this. All those changes go straight to city commission.
All right. Any questions of staff? Is Mr. Roach, is anyone from the public wish to be heard on this matter?
No, Mr. Chair, nobody's expressed interest.
All right, then I'll bring it back to the board. Any concerns? Any objections to what's being proposed? And if not, I'll look for a motion. And look and look.
Move to approve code revision case number
I'm going to miss you, my friend. You're the one who did it for both these.
21-02.
All right, we have a motion. Have we a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes unanimously. Thank you. That then brings us to other business or unfinished business. Todd, really wish you the very best. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And if there's nothing else, we will stand adjourned.
Welcome to Lake Clark Shores, Todd.
Happy days now.
Be a neighbor.